Hey guys, the Lokes here. Welcome to my guide on how to solo the Zamorak God Wars boss. Just a quick disclaimer before we start, this is not the best way to kill the boss. There are better methods out there. You can alternatively use nex armors and stuff and camp much longer, but I personally prefer to do shorter trips so I can get out and back there quicker. Lower risk is important to me, so I'm not bringing the really expensive stuff. This is because the Zamorak boss can combo massive amounts of damage. You can leave comments giving better setups if you prefer, but this is what I use and it's worked very well for me so far. Now that we've got the introduction out of the way, let's get started with the guide. This guide will be split up into 3 parts. The first part will be inventory management, the second part will be how to get to the boss and into the room, and the third part will be how to kill the boss and any tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way. Before we get onto the inventory and armors to bring, we're going to discuss basic requirements to get here. So you need to have completed the Troll Stronghold quest to access Trollheim, Edgar's Ruse to teleport to Trollheim. You need 60 strength and 60 agility to access the God Wars dungeon, and you also need 70 hit points to be able to get into the Zamorak room. However, I would suggest near max melee stats and 99 hit points to solo the boss itself, as it's very hard, and you may want to also wait for overloads, a yak and a unicorn. However, you can solo the boss with worse requirements, but this is what I use and is required for the setup that I'm bringing for this video. Now that we're done with the requirements, we're now going to discuss the inventory, the equipment, and the familiar's inventory. So first of all, we're going to talk about the equipment. The equipment setup that I use is primarily mage defense based. You'll be praying melee defense, so your melee defense doesn't particularly matter. However, I have opted for dragon boots over infinity boots because there is a ranger there that does actually deal a fair amount of damage. A lot of this gear is interchangeable. You can probably swap out the spectral for a Blessed Spirit shield, a DFS, or any other decent shield. Or alternatively, you can even use a two-hander like a Chaotic Maul or a God Sword. You can swap your rapier out for a whip or a CLS, and you can change the cape around depending on how your trip lasts. If you run out of brews before you run out of super restores, then you should use the fire cape like me. However, if you run out of restores before you run out of brews, you should probably switch to a Soul Wars cape. When using a rapier, you'll want to worry about stab bonus, so maybe using a RD cape might make you last a bit longer. However, I haven't done the tasks, so I cannot use it, so I just stick with the fire cape. You can swap the Ring of Life out, but I prefer to use it. You'll see why at the end of this video, but you can obviously switch out for a Onyx Ring Eye or a Berserker Ring Eye or something along those lines. For your Zami item, I tend to just bring a Zamorak arrow. However, you can also bring something like an Unholy Ami or Zamorak robes. They will allow you to just drop them if you don't have a yak. Your inventory really depends on personal preference. However, I bring a extra beast of burden familiar. I have one summoned already. I bring a unicorn pouch. I bring house teletabs to get out. I bring unicorn scrolls and yak scrolls, 3 overloads, 4 spec restores, 2 anti-poison plus pluses, 6 Saradem brews, 5 super restores, a Trollheim teleport and dragon claws, and that's my inventory setup basically. You can interchange it depending on how you fare each trip. You can just alter it. This is what works best for me anyway. In my yak, I bring 3 brews to 1 restore. You can do this with whatever familiar you choose to be your beast of burden familiar. And then I just finish it up with 2 brews because there's 2 spots left. You can change these brews out for restores if you really do need them. Now I'm going to cover how you get to the boss. You teleport to Trollheim and head west down the agility obstacle, and then head south down the second agility obstacle, and then just follow it clockwise. There's a map in the bottom right corner of the screen which you can follow. When approaching the end of the map, you will see troll rock throwers, which will not attack you if you're above combat level 136, so you might want to consider that before you do this. Having gone past the troll rock throwers, you will see a boulder which you can push away with 60 strength or squeeze past with 60 agility. Then you head north. Be quick because the snow tends to lower your stats. Having gotten down into the God Wars dungeon, you will then want to head north to the Zami area. Providing you have 70 hit points left, you can cross the icy cold river. If you do not have 70 life points left, you should soul split and kill some of the nearby bloodvelds. Having crossed the river, you can now head northeast, and on the map I have put 4 yellow dots, which will show you where the 4 imp spawns are. You will be killing the imps for your kill count. There is a high possibility you'll be killing the imps quicker than they can spawn, in which case there are a few werewolves around which you can kill. Failing that, you can also kill the bloodveld, which don't hurt you very much because you have high magic defense. You will want to repeat this process 10 times approximately, and you will then have 40 kill count. So when you've got your 40 kill count, we'll then discuss how you kill the boss. Now that you're done with your kill count, you're going to want to head south to the boss room. You will want to overload pot and then brew back up to full health. You will then want to restore to about half prayer points because the boss drains your prayer. Having done all of that and waiting for your stats to go back up to full, you'll then want to put your quick prayers on, which are deflect, melee, turmoil and protect item. You don't need protect item if you don't want to, that's optional. Having gone in there, you'll want to stab him once to have your turmoil take full effect, switch to your claws and spec him twice. Having spec twice, drink your special restore potion. And then put your rapier and your spectral back on. You'll want to keep above 700 life points if possible, because the boss and its minions can combo extremely high amounts of damage without warning. I've been comboed upwards of 900 in one hit. You're going to want to keep protect melee up at all time when fighting the boss, although some people can soul split flash the boss, but I don't really recommend it as it's not too important. When the boss dies, you want to kill the ranger first, praying range, because he's the most dangerous one to you at this point with such low range defense. You'll then want to switch to the major and start praying melee. Once the major's dead, you should switch to the melee demon and soul split back some of your health if you need to. You can also soul split flash the minions while you kill them. You then want to head in the corner where I'm standing and wait for the boss to respawn. You can drink spec restores in between kills to try and let yourself spec. You want to aim to be able to spec at least once every kill. Now that I've shown you how to get to the boss, how to kill it and what to bring, I'm going to give you some extra tips that I picked up along the way. Of course, the most important thing you should be doing to increase your trip times is to make sure that your anti-poison never runs out. This sounds obvious, but it's done quite a lot of damage to me in the past, due to just not paying attention. Another tip would be to try doing the teleport trip. I didn't show it in this guide because I don't personally do it, so I just decided to not bother including it. But it can give you 2 extra inventory spaces. If you have worse levels, that might be important to you. Once your yak dies and you have your unicorn out, you should, instead of healing in between kills, you should use your soul split to heal back up like normal. This again sounds stupid, but it can save you a couple of doses of brew, which can allow you to get extra kills each trip. Drinking spec restores until you're about 70% spec after every time as Zami dies is quite important, as well as that gives you enough time to get back up to 100% spec before he respawns. And then finally, to end this video, I'm going to show a clip of me getting comboed out for 900 damage in 2 hits. So this was because I stopped paying attention for about 5 seconds, and then I looked back on my screen and I was dead while I was in Varrock. this just highlights how important bringing a Ring of Life is. So thank you guys for watching this guide. I will see you guys later. Can you please leave me some feedback, because this is my first video on TGN, and I plan on improving for the future.